If you think your muzzle device is making your Anvil more accurate, there's a very good chance it's not. And if you're using a compensator because you think it improves first shot accuracy, well, no. Today I'm breaking down every muzzle device type in Arc Raiders, brakes, compensators, suppressors, and the extended barrel, and more importantly, how they specifically change the way the Anvil hand cannon performs. Now this video is going to be a practical breakdown, not just stat card buzzwords. We're going to cover what each muzzle type actually does, and what it does not do, the most common misconceptions, and when each one actually makes sense on the Anvil. Because the Anvil hits like a truck, but it also punishes bad assumptions. Now before we talk attachments, we need to define two things that people constantly mix up: recoil and dispersion. Recoil is the physical kick of the weapon after each shot. That includes vertical kick and horizontal kick. Recoil affects how easy it is for you to keep the gun on target. It does not automatically mean your gun is inaccurate. Now dispersion, also called bloom, is the spread area around your reticle. That outer ring shows the area where your shot can land. Your shot is not guaranteed to land on the center dot. It is only guaranteed to land somewhere inside that radius. So if your reticle is bloomed out, your shot can still miss even if your center dot looks like it's on target. And that is the key difference. Recoil is where your aim moves, and the dispersion is where the bullet can land within the reticle spread. If you understand that, the muzzle devices will make a lot more sense. Alright, let's break down the four muzzle device types. Brakes mitigate recoil. That means they reduce the vertical and horizontal kick after each shot. On the Anvil, that matters because the gun kicks hard. A brake makes follow-up shots feel more controlled, especially if you are firing quickly. But a brake does not improve accuracy. It does not reduce dispersion. It does not tighten your reticle bloom. It simply makes the weapon easier to control between shots. If your grouping improves with a brake, that's because you controlled the recoil better, not because the attachment made the gun inherently more accurate. Next we have compensators, which mitigate dispersion or bloom. They specifically affect two stats: per shot dispersion and max shot dispersion. Per shot dispersion is how much the dispersion ring grows with each shot. Max shot dispersion is the maximum size that the dispersion ring can reach while firing. On the Anvil, a compensator helps the weapon stay more consistent during repeated shots because the bloom grows more slowly and caps out at a smaller maximum size. So if you're spam firing or taking rapid follow-ups, the compensator helps maintain shot consistency. Now for the big misconception. A lot of players think max shot dispersion affects the weapon's resting accuracy. It does not. Compensators do not improve first shot accuracy. The resting dispersion ring is identical with or without a compensator. The compensator only affects how bloom behaves after you start firing. So if your playstyle is mostly slow, deliberate single shots with full reset between shots, a compensator gives you really no benefit. Next up we have suppressors, and suppressors mitigate the sound signature of the weapon. That's it. Their role is stealth and audio discipline. On the Anvil, if you want to minimize attention, ambushes, third-party avoidance, quieter picks, staying off people's radar, the suppressor has real value. But suppressors do not reduce recoil, they do not reduce dispersion, and do not improve accuracy. If you run one, you are choosing stealth utility over mechanical handling benefits. And last but not least, we have the extended barrel, which increases your muzzle velocity by 25%, while also increasing vertical recoil by 15%. This is the highest trade-off attachment in the group. Higher muzzle velocity means less lead on moving targets, less travel time, and better consistency at longer range. On a weapon like the Anvil, that can make distance shots feel way cleaner. The downside is extra vertical kick, and on a hand cannon that already kicks hard, you will feel that. So the extended barrel can make the Anvil stronger at range, but only if you can handle the added recoil and still place your follow-up shots. Now that we understand the difference between the different muzzle devices, let's talk specifically about the Anvil, because this is where attachment choice actually matters. The Anvil is not a spray and pray weapon. It's a high-impact precision hand cannon. So the question isn't just what's best, it's what problem are you trying to solve? If your issue is losing the sight picture after every shot, run a brake. The brake helps you recover faster between shots because recoil is reduced. Your reticle behavior won't change in terms of bloom stats, but the gun will feel easier to keep on target. This is a comfort and control pick. If your issue is that follow-up shots feel random when you shoot quickly, run a compensator. That's dispersion bloom. The compensator reduces how much bloom expands per shot and lowers the max bloom cap. But if you're pacing your shots and letting the reticle settle fully between shots, the benefit is almost non-existent. So this is a cadence-dependent attachment. If your issue is that you don't want the whole map hearing you, run a suppressor. This is your stealth pick. No mechanical handling improvement, just reduced sound signature. Great for low-profile play, repositioning, or avoiding third-party attention after a shot. If your issue is better long-range hit consistency, run the extended barrel. The 25% velocity boost is huge for target lead and travel time, but the 15% recoil increase means the Anvil gets snappier and less forgiving. So this is your skill check attachment. If your recoil control is solid, it can be extremely strong. Now, let's kill the biggest myth in this whole conversation. The compensator does not improve first shot accuracy. At rest, the dispersion ring is the same size with or without it. What changes is what happens after you fire, how fast the ring expands, and how large it can get. So if somebody says compensator makes the Anvil laser accurate on first shot, that is just not how the stat works. It helps bloom behavior in sustained firing. It does not change the resting dispersion radius. So if I had to simplify it, brake is recoil control, comfort, and easier follow-up shots. Compensator is bloom control and better rapid shot consistency. Suppressor is stealth and audio discipline. Extended barrel is better velocity with harder recoil. Now, I will freely admit that for the longest time, I ran the compensators on the Anvil because I genuinely thought it was increasing my resting accuracy or my idle accuracy or that first shot accuracy. But after extensive testing, I realized it wasn't doing me any good with the way I employ the Anvil. See, I use the Anvil as a PvE weapon, anti-arc. Now, if I'm shooting at arc with it, I'm generally taking my time. I'm not having to rapidly spam shots. If I need to quickly fire multiple shots, I'm going to switch to the other weapon that I'm carrying, usually a Venator. So once I realized that the compensators weren't really doing me any good, I switched to running the suppressor exclusively. Now, the green level suppressor is all but useless. It barely makes any difference whatsoever. If it's all you've got, sure, go ahead and throw it on. But honestly, it's not really worth it in my opinion, especially if you're going out of your way to craft it. However, if you have the blue or purple level suppressor, those will make a noticeable difference. And in fact, the purple level suppressor makes the thing sound like a pop gun. It's absolutely incredible how much it reduces that sound signature. However, the purple level suppressor does come with the additional trade-off of 20% increased durability burn. So yeah, if this helped, drop a comment and tell me what you're running on your Anvil. Brake, comp, suppressor, or extended barrel, and why. And if you want, I can do the same breakdown for other weapons too, because there are a few attachments in this game that people are giving credit for stuff that they just simply do not do. As always, keep looting, keep shooting. I'll see you in the next one.